Coach, we find ourselves at the foot of the Rockies, Denver, Colorado, for this edition of the NFL on EA Sports. The scene a few moments ago, here it is. It's unlike any other in sport as both teams made their way out of the tunnel. These folks are fired up as their guys are ready to do battle between the Cincinnati Bengals and the Denver Broncos. The final playoff push is upon us. It's Week 12 of the NFL season, and we're underway on EA Sports. That'll be taken in the end zone. And they'll have good starting field position as he's up just shy of the 40. So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. Now the man from UTEP, this is Aaron Jones. And that is the kind of tackling they want to see all game as he'll lose yardage to start things out. It's a loss of 2 there, bringing up 2nd down. So the opening play of the drive goes backwards. Now they'll come up on 2nd and 12. Cousins now. Oh, did he hang on to it? He did on the dive. Nice grab. It's a pickup of 12, and that'll set up a 3rd down. An early test for this defense. Here we go on 3rd and inches. They'll try and run for it with Jones. And he will have the 1st down as he gets this to the 47. Just 4 yards on the pickup, but that's good enough to extend the drive. And they'll keep on the ground with Jones. And the big boys up front, they're going to stop him right at the line. Kenny Clark, the big D tackle there to make the stop. Officially nothing on that last run. They'll try again 2nd and 10. Give him 3 yards on the run there. That still leaves him with a difficult 3rd and 8 coming up.
Well, so many times we look at a short run and we praise the offense for trying to set the tempo and establish things, but the defensive guys, hey, they just won the battle there. It wasn't a big run given up. They don't always have to absorb the body blows. Sometimes they dish them out themselves.
Cousins to throw it this time. He's going to air one out, and that will be incomplete.
You hear the calls for a penalty, but I just don't think so. I think in this situation, the defender was making sure his guy couldn't hold on to the football. So I don't see anything that warranted a flag.
No, I'm with you. There was contact, but I'm happy they kept that flag in the back pocket. And on their first drive, the offense staying out there. They're going to go for it on 4th. Now Cousins on 4th down. And he's going to be taken down here. Back across midfield, 3 yards away from midfield at the 47. Well, trying to be bold on the opening drive of the game, but that effort, it proves futile.
How many times have we talked with coaches where they've talked about taking the emotion out of their decision-making? I think that opening drive, if he didn't have it in his head to go for it before, I think that keyed into it. They were doing so well, and he decided to really establish something there. They didn't get it. Now they've got to make sure that they don't lose their focus.
Benardrick McKinney there to make the stop.
But we just saw a great example of what we talked about with his coach prior to the game. He's definitely one of the better linebackers at reading a play and flowing to make the stop before it turns into something big.
Now a handoff looking right. And they'll get him down as he's inside the 40. A 10-yard pickup, and it's enough for a Broncos 1st down.
And there we see an early burst that makes him one of the leading rushers in the league.
Well, I want you to know, I listened to you yesterday when we were watching film. You said write down the word vision for him. It was on display there, wasn't it?
It certainly was, because he allows the blocks to set up in front of him. And if that continues, it could be a long afternoon for those guys trying to play some defense.
On 1st down, Darnold. This one into the hands of Metcalf. And all the way inside the 15 before they drop him. Call that a very strong gain of 24. Going to give this time to the tailback. And he's tackled a yard short of the marker. Good gain of 9 on first down. He was solid last week, over 100 yards in their victory on the ground. They want to get that going again.
Absolutely. And what they also understand is that from week to week, it's not necessarily the same, but they want it to be, right? What they saw last week on the ground, they want to see in this game as well.
Check 52 tonight. I don't think you got it, son.
Now they try the right side here. And he will take it in for a Bronco touchdown. A great play there. Touchdown number 18 on the year, as his guys are able to strike first here in this opening quarter. Tucker with the extra point, and it's now a 7-0 game. Tucker now to kick it away following the touchdown. That's fielded in the end zone. And he's up past the 20 to the 22-yard line.
Let's go. Let's go.
The Bengals drive about to get going. And, Charles, if the season ended today, and it's not going to, we still have December left.
More football.
We're only in November. But they would be a wild card team. And that's great. They'd be in the playoffs, but you know they're trying to bump up to be one of those division leaders.
That guarantees you at least one home game in the playoffs, and that's what you're really seeking. But there also isn't much margin for error for this team, right? Because right where they're sitting, a 2-game losing streak could have them out of the playoffs. So they've got to make sure they continue to keep the momentum going.
Absolutely. There's some sharks smelling blood in the water behind them. After one, 7-0 on EA Sports.
Listen to me.
Now on 2nd and 13. Cousins. And that is incomplete. A lot of force bearing down on him there. He could not hang on. It's 3rd down.
Didn't have a receiver open downfield, and as it turned out, couldn't even find his outlet man because of the coverage. It's way too tight, unable to find anyone open.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. Cousins with a give to Jones. And he'll lose yardage on the play back at the 37-yard line. Losing 2 yards that time, and now it's 4th down. The Bengals bring out their punter now, as he's on a punt for the first time this afternoon. He'll send this one into the mile-high air, and it's a good one. A very nice job on the run back there. He'll get 23 yards all told. And the Broncos take over, 1st down and 10. Denver offense at the line, ready to go. And, you know, certainly a lot of football left to be played. We're not into December yet, but right now where we stand, they're first place in their division. Looking good, looking to be a threat come January.
And let's think about what every team has in their goals, all right? Number 1 goal is what? Make the playoffs. Number 2 goal is win your division. Number 3 goal, and the biggest goal, I think, is to be the highest seed possible that you can be heading into the playoffs so that you can have as many home games as possible to try and get you to the Super Bowl.
And right now fighting for every win possible to try to at least secure home field for the wild card and or divisional round.
61, matchbox, lights. Slam, slam, slam. Check the backer, check the backer. 20, red 80. Check the cut.
Running game working. They'll stick with it on 1st down. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
You ain't got nothing. You ain't got nothing.
A quick throw. It's Arcega Whiteside. 6 yards is the pickup, and that'll lead to a 3rd down.
I know many people like to throw to the tight end, maybe in a little flexed out position because he creates mismatches with his size. But slot receivers do the same thing with their quickness, their speed, and their route running savvy.
52's the mic right here, over there, right? 52's the mic.
X3, 218, chop.
Darnold on 3rd down. Able to haul it in is Kittle. Past the 20. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. A very well-executed play. It goes for 29 yards. Now a handoff here to his running back. And stopped a few yards shy of the goal line at the 3. That's over 40 yards of movement with those last 2 plays. They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. And just a short gain that time as they're able to get him down. He'll get 2 out of that run, and it's going to bring up a 2nd and goal.
52's the mic. I'm coming. I'm coming. I'm coming. Kill.
2 minutes on the clock, 2nd quarter, 7-0 ball game. And we remind you, coming up at the half, we'll join who, Charles?
The coach.
The coach, Jonathan Coachman, standing by in Orlando. He'll have stats and scores from games in progress, as well as scores from earlier today.
The coach.
Sorry, we get slap happy up here sometimes. They'll try to run this one in, and he'll get in. Touchdown, Denver. A great effort there with his 2nd touchdown here in this 1st half. And the Broncos push further out in front. Tucker able to connect on the extra point, and that'll make the score 14-0. Tucker now to kick it away following the touchdown. That'll be taken in the end zone. And the decision to bring it out will cost him about 5 yards as he'll get this only back to the 20. The Bengals drive about to get going. Already down 2 touchdowns here in the 1st half. This becomes a pretty important drive, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and a lot of the teams script plays. We know that, right? They have a script to start the ball game, and typically those scripts go between 12 and 24, 25 plays. Down 2 touchdowns early, probably not very deep into their script. I think that they'll stay with it. I don't think they'll abandon it just yet and try and generate some offense on this drive.
Anything. At least 3 points, get that 0 off the board. So the big play gets him across midfield now for 1st and 10.
I know, easy.
Throwing his Cousins. Trying for Brown, and it's intercepted. Picked off at the 23. And he's going to take this one back to the 37-yard line.
And that's a great example of ball skills right there, partner. You and I do a lot of games, and I can't tell you how many guys look to run with the football before they've intercepted it. So that's a nice job of focusing on the task at hand and coming away with the interception.
Here we go.
Now a handoff looking right. He's got the 1st down and more past midfield. And he's finally down at the 21-yard line. It's a big play there for the Broncos. 41 yards on the ground. So the big play gets them all the way down to the outskirts of the red zone here for 1st and 10. Now it's Darnold. Steps away to his left. And seeing no options, he just tosses this one away incomplete. Now that'll bring up 2nd down.
Yeah, that one sailed on him. You've got to make sure you give your receiver a chance to come down inbounds because they are very gifted. They'll make the circus catches, but they make them out of bounds. That does you no good.
Check that. We got Mike 52 right here. 52. Come to my world. We want it. Come to my world.
back to the air. Darnold on second down. And that is caught. Touchdown, Denver. George Kittle, his second touchdown on the season. And the Broncos push further out in front. Tucker with the extra point, and it's now 21-0. Tucker now to kick it away following the touchdown. This will be taken to the back of the end zone. And he'll take it back to about the 19-yard line. The Bengals drive about to get going. And some dangerous territory. You're already down 3 scores. A 3-and-out here or an inability to put any points up. This one might be over by half.
Yeah, and what you also have to guard against is calling every play for a big shot downfield. You know, thinking you're going to get all these points back on one drive. You're not. And last time I looked, it's still the first half. I'm not saying you have ultimate patience here, but you also don't have to go ahead and force everything either.
And obviously not fooling anybody here as they stop him behind the line of scrimmage. That's a big loss of 3, and it brings up third down. So we reach halftime in what's been a fairly one-sided game so far. As now we send you out to Orlando and hook back up with Jonathan Coachman for our EA Sports Halftime Report. Broncos with a lead, and they will be receiving this kickoff here as quarter 3 is underway. This will be taken short. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line. The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. They built a good first-half lead. Now they have a chance to add on to it.
And what I'm thinking is that the offensive staff spent the entire halftime just working with them on, here's what we think they're going to do to attack us in the second half. Nice first half that we've had, guys, but be prepared for some change-ups. We're going to see them when we kick it off in the second half.
See how they handle any adjustments that might be made defensively.
Red 80.
Kill.
Here we go.
And he'll give it here to his running back. And there is nowhere for him to cut back as he's taken down in the backfield. The tally there, -2 yards, brings up third down. Need something for deep in the bag of tricks here after first and second down went backwards. It's third and very long.
Big Ed. Slam.
Red 80. Red 80. Go.
Darnold. He rifles one that's intercepted. Marcus May with a pick. And he will score. Touchdown, Cincinnati.
Now, that was a beautiful play. A pick 6. How would you punctuate something like that, partner?
What do you mean, with an exclamation mark?
Exclamation mark, a big word. What would you do with that?
Ampersand?
I like it.
Point after, right down the middle. And they'll cut the lead to 21-7. This will be taken very short. And they're going to start this drive in pretty good shape as they get it up past the 30. Denver offense at the line, ready to go.
They're not ready for this, man. They're not ready for this.
Fresh off the pick 6, it's Darnold going for Metcalf on the, and that's caught inside the 30. And all the way home for a Broncos score. DK Metcalf, his 9th touchdown of the season. And the Broncos push further out in front. Well, they went play action there and set it up nicely for him. I mean, he can flat fly, and they hit him downfield.
And it doesn't take much to create that extra bit of space that a guy of his speed needs. If you go play action, all you want It's just a moment where the guys covering take their attention somewhere else, and then he's by them. And once he's by them, there's no catching him. As they always like to say, if a receiver's even to a defensive back, that means he's leaving.
Unless that DB is Charles Davis, right?
In that case, he left me a long time ago.
Come on now.
Trust me.
And he'll get it up past the 20 to the 22-yard line. The Bengals drive about to get going. They come out here with a 0 on the scoreboard. What was said in that locker room? That's what I want to know. Now the hit comes, and Cousins lost the football.
On plays like this where the ball comes free, it's often unusual for the team that lost it to get it back. Because this is the quarterback. The ball gets away from him. Everyone else is trying to execute what they're supposed to do on offense. They're usually looking in the other direction, downfield, or have moved away from him. In this case, though, a teammate is able to come up with the ball.
And nothing doing here as this time the run maybe gets him back to the line of scrimmage, but that's it. No gain on the play this time, and it'll be a 3rd and long situation coming up. This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. They'll go again to Jones. And not much there at all as he'll get this only up to about the 11. Just a 1-yard gain on the play, and that'll mean a call to the punt team as it's 4th down. The Bengals bring out their punter now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. Taken from just outside the 30. A very good return there. Give him an even 20 yards. And it'll be a short field for the Broncos as they take over 1st and 10.
He's coming. Double up, double up. Coming, double up. Where's 52?
And to give this time to the tailback. Tackle made by Zaire Franklin.
3rd quarter and you've got the lead. You're not ready to go into that 4-minute offense to close the game out, but a running game can really benefit your team right now.
At the 46-yard line.
The last run got 3. Now here's 2nd and 7.
Let's go, defense. Let's get out the field, defense. Hey, lady. Young lady. 52's the mic. Watch Mike.
Back to throw, Darnold. This one into the hands of Kittle, the tight end. The reception good for 7. It's 3rd down. That's a staple of this offense. Drag route to the tight end.
Yeah, he's unable to use his size to break off much more yardage after the catch, but still an effective gain nonetheless.
Mike, we're going to start. 52. Watch the curve. Watch the curve. The lady. Deuce. The lady. Hey, Mike, 52. Hey. High 7.
Darnold will throw it on 3rd and 1. That's a shuffle pass, and it's complete. And he'll lose yardage on the play back at the 45-yard line. That'll go as a loss of 5. And that'll bring up 4th down. And they're going to at least line up to go for it here on 4th down.
No, check that.
They snap it. They're going for it. Here's Darnold. Open man is Metcalf. He's got it. And brought down, but able to get it to their 30-yard line. Denver has a 1st down on the 15-yard play.
Hey, Delta.
Darnold on 1st down. Under pressure now, Darnold, and he goes down. And that'll be marked down as their 1st sack of the game.
Well, they had 6 last week, and this offense did its homework, didn't it? Because they saw all that pressure, and they really worked hard to tamp it down and beat it back, and they did a great job in the 1st half. And now they've gotten their 1st sack here in the 2nd half. Look out, they'll try to increase the pressure.
Back now here on EA Sports. A lot of happy faces in the crowd at this point as their guys have a big lead here to start quarter number 4. Need something from deep in the bag of tricks here after first and second down went backwards. It's third and very long. Now they try the right side here. And he'll lose yardage here. Back at the 41. A loss of a yard, and it brings up fourth.
It's a tough one right there. He ran right into the teeth of the blitz as the linebacker was freed up in order to stuff that one for a loss. I think quarterbacks got to see that. Got to find a way to audible into something a little more advantageous.
And I tell you what, he got it from 58. That had lots of leg behind it. So it's 3 more points, and that widens this thing out even further here in the fourth.
And you know in this league, you can never have enough points, but this widens it out, as you said, and now it's all about ball control, isn't it?
This will be taken to the back of the end zone. And in hindsight, probably should have stayed where he was, as he'll only get back to the 16-yard line. The Bengals drive about to get going. These guys had to punt last time. It has not been a very fruitful game offensively thus far. They haven't even made a trip to the red zone.
And I know that everyone's going crazy on that sideline because that drives you berserk to come off the field, not really move the ball well. As you said, not even get to the red zone, let alone, not even put points on the board. They've got to just take a deep breath, relax, try and figure out what is working.
Into a double team, and it's intercepted. Picked off right around the 43. And the return will be stopped at the 34-yard line.
Well, this defensive pressure has been constant all game long. The pass rush, the coverage, they've all been excellent, and now they'll tack on an interception here as this one continues to slip just further and further out of hand.
From the 34 now, here's first and 10.
I can't believe they let you play. I can't believe they even let you play.
After the interception, here's Darnold. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Jaron Reed muscles his way in for the sack. Yeah, they need to work to at least get some of this yardage back after the sack. 2nd and 19. Oh, he tries to get it to Metcalf, but it's intercepted. Bernardrick McKinney, the linebacker, picks it. 20. And he will bring it back. It's a pick 6 for a Bengals TD. This game's still fairly well in hand, but I think now you go conservative, don't you? Go into your shell, just run the football?
I think you have to, but you also have to tell your backs, make sure you're really protecting the football because you're going to run into a stacked defensive front, which is why they were throwing the football before, trying to make sure they just get their backs, really beat up in that situation. Now, good luck to them.
2 scores down, 3 timeouts left. Still a chance if they can somehow get this one back. So they throw the pick 6. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air.
Let's go. Let's do it. At their own 25-yard line.
The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. Now, there are 2 scores on the plus side. Still time here in this 4th quarter, but maybe you start thinking about playing keep away?
Yeah, I think here's the situation. You're not thinking touchdowns anymore. You're just thinking first downs. To keep up with your theme there, playing keep away, first downs, they can't touch the ball.
The run got 4. Now they deal with a 2nd and 6.
Bang, 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 bang. Pilot, 64, weak. Switch it. Come on, switch it.
Now a handoff here to his running back. He works his way forward for a couple up past the 30.
Bottom line, they want to keep this clock rolling, so they'll take that one right there. They just want to keep falling forward, and they want to put the onus on the big fellas up front in order to bring this one home.
Now a handoff looking right. And he gets this up to the 34 out of bounds there. Call it a gain of 3, and it'll bring up 4th down. I love the look you just gave me because I know what you're thinking. If you're going to run towards the perimeter, you better either stay in bounds or get the first down, or both. He did neither.
Imagine the looks he's getting right now from his team, from his coaches. They go over those scenarios all the time, and as you said, he did neither.
And that'll hit at the 5 and go into the end zone for a touchback.
Their own 20-yard line.
The Bengals drive about to get going. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you are. I don't think that there's any way you can run back out there and go, totally didn't affect me. Let's just go ahead and be loose with the football again. You're going to take care of it, but you have to be careful about being too cautious because now you can't run any offense at all.
Still want to attack. We'll see how they attack him here. And he'll have it past midfield almost to the 40 before being taken down. A gain of 28 yards there and give him a first down. Now a first down carry by Jones. And they go backwards here, losing yardage back at the 48-yard line. Call that a loss of 5 yards on the play. And it'll make this a 2nd and long. 2 minutes left to play in this football game here on EA Sports. So the Bengals in possession of the football here as we get you reset. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. On 2nd and 15 now. Cousins. And his guys are going to take over at the 21-yard line.
Obviously disappointing, but you had to go for broke here, down 2 scores. So that forced you to make some throws you definitely wouldn't want to make. And I think this interception is going to pretty much write an end to this one.
Now they try the right side here. Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9.
That's it. That's what you want. Straight ahead positive gain. Just keep that clock ticking.
So 2nd and 9, and you'd have to figure just about all 11 probably crashing the line here. And here's another tackle made at the line, so they're converging well on the football now. Calling no gain on the run there, and now they'll be looking at a 3rd down.
Check 9, check 9. Motion, 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 motion.
Watch twins. Watch twins.
Hey, watch the edge, watch the edge.
Chance. Alert flare, flare. He's coming. 80. We got double up.
Now they'll run it on the toss. And he'll get this to the 23, but that'll be well short of what he needed. Now the Bengals going to use the first of their timeouts, as the clock's going to stop with 47 seconds to go in the 4th. He gets it away, and I think they'll smartly play keep away here from Brown. And the punt over the side in the air, and the spot will be inside the 35. The Bengals drive about to get going. And with 3 interceptions thrown already, we'll see. Do they rely more on the ground game here?
They may have to change things offensively to try and settle things down, not just for the guy throwing the ball, but for the rest of the offensive unit, because their confidence has to be shaken a little bit. And you just wonder, is the backup going to start to warm up a little bit over on the sideline?
And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. The Bengals going to use the 2nd of their timeouts as they get it with 16 seconds remaining on the clock.
Gun.
Now this time he'll look to throw. He's going to let it fly. And that's incomplete. Clock stops with 10 seconds left.
They don't want to keep playing all day. Let's get it.
And they're indeed going to go for it here on 4th down. So trailing here in the last quarter. Let's see how this plays out. Cousins to throw for it on 4th. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. They had to go for it with such little time remaining. And, boy, possession here turns over with the football already being in the red zone. Oh, now look at this. They're lining up to add 3 more, little insult to injury here late in the game. This to make it a 3-score game late. And his kick is indeed good. And that will make this now a 19-point advantage. So the drive stalls out inside the 15-yard line, but they do get 3.
And I've talked with enough players nowadays that when they have these types of kicks, that no one says to their guy, hey, that's just like making an extra point, piece of cake. because the extra point is not a piece of cake anymore. But kicking a field goal from that distance, just give him confidence and let him knock it through.
A very good starting field position for the Bengals here as they come up 1st and 10 at the 41-yard line. Now Cousins. Under pressure, and they got to him again. And, Charles, you know what coaches always tell us. We want to win our home games. That much we know. We want to protect our home turf. They got that done in this one.
Exactly right. When you start a season, everyone's goal, win all of your home games, split your road games, and you're likely going to be in the playoffs. But when you win at home, boy, what a great feeling that is. You don't even mind if people are at your house when you get home after a win like that.
So for the Broncos,